work through some of these problems today. One step at a time. Remember, show your work or terrible things will happen. So let's go. First thing we're going to do here, we're going to combine up our x's. I've got negative 4x, negative 6x. So if I've got negative 4 and I take 6 more away, that's going to leave me with 10 that I owe. I'm going to divide this 10 off. Watch those negative signs. They can be tricky. I'm going to get x is equal to 2. Looks just like that. On this next one, got all these things paired up with my x. I'm going to take them away. I'm going to do it one at a time. I know many of you could probably do them all at once. So if you want, just subtract 6 away from that right side and kill it like that, just fine. I'm going to do one step at a time so you can see where everything's coming from. On this one, we're going to get n is equal to 0. There we go. Let me back that out just a little bit. All right. On number 3, I've got p's on both sides of the equation. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to do it one step at a time. Many of you could do many steps all at once. I'm going to combine up 3 plus 5 is 8p. Then I'm going to take this p to the other side, subtract it. That's going to give me negative 1 is equal to 7p minus 8. I want to get this 8 to the other side, so I'm going to add it to both sides. 7 is equal to 7p. Divide that 7 off, and that's going to give me p is equal to 1. Get that answer finished for me. On number 4, I'm going to move the 5a because I like keeping my variables positive. So I'm going to add that 5 to the other side. That gives me 6a is plus 5 rather is equal to 4. Notice sometimes I move it from left to right. Other times I move it from right to left. It's all about making it the easiest for yourself. However you like to do it is fine. Just make it easy on you. Always be thinking. Divide that 6 off. You'll notice I've got a fraction here. Don't panic. Just write the fraction. Just write the fraction. We're big kids. We can all understand fractions. So just leave it like that. Now right here, I'm going to distribute that negative 8. Negative 8 goes to both of those numbers. 3n minus 5 is equal to negative 48. Minus 40n. Again, got to move this 40 to the other side. So I'm going to add it to both sides. Again, I'm moving the 40 and not the 3 because I want to keep those variables positive when I finish everything off. So now I've got 43n minus 5 is equal to negative 48. Add the 5 to both sides. 43n is equal to negative 43. Pull the 43 off. Watch that negative sign. And I'm going to get n is equal to negative 1. Being cognizant of those negative signs. This next one, I'm going to distribute that 2. Gives me 8x minus 6 minus 8 equals 4 plus 2x. I'll combine these two up right here, make my problem a little bit shorter. 8x minus 14 equals 4 plus 2x. Pull the 2x off both sides again, making sure that I keep that variable positive. You don't have to do that. I just like to because it's easier for me to think about the variable being positive. Add the 14 to both sides. I'm going to get 6x is equal to 18. Divide the 6 off of everything, and I'm going to get x. Oh, I'm off paper again. I'm going to get x is equal to 3. Looks just like that. On number 7. Now, there are 2 ways to go about this. This one's really easy to distribute, and I'm going to do it that way because both of these numbers are divisible by 4. Lots of different ways to take care of this fraction. The way I think about it is I'm going to divide by 4 and then multiply by 3. So it's 2 steps instead of 1 step all at the same time. I'm going to break it down into 2 steps. So the first thing I think about, 4 divided by 4 is 1 times 3 is 3. So I'll have 3 x's. 8 divided by 4 is 2 times 3 is 6. And that allows me to distribute that fraction without a whole bunch of headache. Lots of different ways to do it. Pick your favorite way. I'm going to pull that 3x from both sides. Again, trying to keep my variable positive as much as I can. So 6x minus 6, add the 6 to both sides. We're going to have to sneak attack over to here. And that gives me 12 is equal to 6x. divide both sides by 6, and I'm going to get x is equal to 2. Again, always looking for ways to make your life easier. Last one on this side, I've got 1/2 of x plus 1/2 x minus this little craziness. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to push these together. I don't like fractions, so I'm going to get rid of them. Let's get rid of that right now. So half plus a half is a whole x minus, we'll leave that together for now. Scooby-Doo. This negative sign, it's a sad day. Some people like to distribute the negative. I'm going to put my little 1 there so I can distribute the negative, and it makes more sense to me because I can multiply by a negative 1. So this is x minus 2 minus 3x equals 4x minus 6. I'm going to push these two x's together, so I've got negative 2 minus 2x. I've got 1, I take away 3, that leaves me with 2 left that I owe, so negative 2 with my x. At this point, I'm going to add 2x to both sides, again, because I want that variable to stay positive as much as I can. It gives me negative 2 is equal to 6x minus 6. Add the 6 to both sides. That gives me 4 is equal to 6x. When I divide here, I'm going to get a fraction again, just like I did on number 4. The difference, this one can be reduced. 4 over 6 reduces to 2 over 3. You can push it to a decimal if you want to. I don't like to because that's extra work and I like to be done. So we're going to leave it as the fraction and move on. Number 9. Lots of steps. The thing to remember here, if you multiply by a negative number, we're about to do this. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 16 to clear my fraction. This sign is going to flip. So I've got n plus 5. Remember, all multiplying by negative 16 does is get rid of your denominator. I've got n plus 5 is less than, flip because of the negative, positive 16. I'm then going to subtract that 5 from both sides, and I'm going to get n is less than, is less than 11. Now your teachers are going to have different ways of you to write your numbers. I like 3 numbers. I've got my action number, which is 11, one bigger, one smaller. That gives me enough information to know what's going on. N cannot be equal to 11, so I've got the open circle, and n can be anything less. So I'm going to draw my arrow to the less than side. 10 is less than 11, so that's the direction I'm headed in. Looking at number 10, get the 1 out of the way first. You've got that 9 on the bottom, but it's a big pain to move it if you've got some other things that can be done first. So I move the 1, multiply both sides by 9. Notice the sign is not going to flip because the 9 that I multiplied by is positive. So that sign will not flip. This leaves me m is less than or equal to 8, or I apologize, negative 9. Gracious. That could have been a sad day. So I've got my negative 9. Negative 8 is bigger than negative 9. Negative 10 is smaller than negative 9. So I want to be less than or equal to. Negative 9 is included in my solution set. And I've got these smaller numbers over here. Alright, 2 more. So on this one, again, move that 8 first. Makes life a little bit easier when we multiply by that negative 4, and I have a whole bunch of different things that we're multiplying by that number. So 5 minus 8 is negative 3. Got to get rid of that negative 4. I'm multiplying the entire equation by negative 4. That's going to flip the sign and give me b is less than or equal to positive 12. Again, I'm going to get the 3 numbers, the one that I'm using, one bigger, one smaller, and that gives me enough information. B is going to be less than 12 or equal to. That's why I've got it filled in. Equal to is okay, so we got it filled in. Less than is also okay, so we're head that away. This one, lots of steps. We're going to push this one down to here. Again, when I distribute this 1/2, it's going to work because it goes evenly into both of those numbers. So I've got 6x, and just like I said up top, divide by 2 times by 1, so really it's just to divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then 12 divided by 2 is 6. It's going to be less than or equal to. Go ahead and distribute that 3 as well. Negative 15x plus 6. From here, you're taking a look. Where do I want to move things? Well, I've got this right here that gives me a 9x. get everything combined that we can. I'm going to move the 15 over. Although the 15 is the bigger number, when I move it over, it keeps my x's positive, and I like that a little bit better. 15x, it gives me 24x minus 6 less than or equal to 6. Then I'm going to add that 6 to both sides, push it up over here. 24x less than or equal to 12. At this point, all I got to do is rip the 24 off. And just like up here on number 8, where we had a fraction that we needed to reduce, I'm going to reduce this fraction right here. 12 over 24 will reduce to 1 over 2. So I've got x is less than or equal to 1/2. Again, just taking three numbers. You can use 0.5 if you want to. 1 will be larger than 1/2. 0 will be smaller than 1/2. And I can be anywhere equal to or less than 1/2. And that's going to be the end of page 1.